Hi. So today's question is, should I publish my Kindle ebooks on ACX and CreateSpace? So that was the question that I received today. Thanks for asking. Well, where to start? The first thing I'd like to say is that this is actually a very difficult question. And the reason it is so difficult is because there are so many places you can publish. And the first thing I'd like to say also is that congratulations for at least getting your Kindle book, because your question of whether your Kindle book should be put out on these other locations is shows that you already have taken the work to get a Kindle book, which many people have not managed to actually even get the first step started. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com. Hit the subscribe bell if you'd like me to make more videos like this, and you can always leave a comment or questions that you have in the bottom. So let's get started. So on my story, when I first started, I also started with Kindle, but then I realized I was listening and reading and taking courses and all sorts of stuff that you do not want to stop there. You also want to make sure that you have the paperback versions. And for me, I saw that the sales on the paperback versions were about twice as much as they were for Kindle. And the amount of effort necessary, it was a bit more, and I had to go through different formatting tools until I figured out ways to do this myself. I originally had other people do it, and then eventually ended up figuring out how to do the formatting myself. And at that time, it was CreateSpace. And so, but CreateSpace has since been turned into Kindle publishing, not Kindle publishing, but Amazon paperbacks. So the paperback then has been taken under, but the format and the rules and the style and everything pretty much stays the same. So no major change there. So that was the first one. The second lesson that I myself learned was with your audio recordings of this that you would use for ACX. That is a lot more tricky because you have to find somebody who can do the recording. Initially, I did the 50-50 split, and I discovered I make no money doing that. So I moved over to paying so I could get the entire revenue myself. I found someone on Upwork so that they could a narrator who would be able to do the narration, and I could just pay them, and they would narrate for me at a reasonable price, and then they would get paid, and then I would earn off of those books the downloads that would happen. And in the early days with ACX, you would make a lot more money, like an awful lot more money, because you would get bounties for people being the first to buy one of your books. So that they removed that service. In addition, they've changed a number of other policies that have made it a little difficult, but it's still definitely worth the effort to ensure that all of your books, no matter how long they are or how short they are, that they're all in audio format. So you're going to want to do that. You do one thing at a time, though. That's the thing with making self-publishing easy now. It is all about simplifying and only one thing at a time. So if you do not have a paperback book, then you're going to do it through Amazon paperback first. And so that was a little bit. And then one other thing is as I pointed out here, the ACX was a big moneymaker, and KDP print is definitely something. But then, what about other options? Ingram Spark or Lulu or Draft to Digital or the others? I found that I don't want to go to Draft to Digital and other places that can take out where you're going wide with your Kindle book, with your ebook, because if you're going over to the other ones, I tried Smashwords and some of these other options that were available, but I found that you can't run ads. You would be in violation of Amazon's contract, and I would not recommend doing anything that would violate the contract. I've seen too many accounts get closed. But Ingram Spark, on the other hand, is a fantastic opportunity because it gives wider distribution, and if anything happens to your Amazon account, Ingram Spark still continues to sell your books, in fact, on Amazon. So this is another benefit. And the other final one is Lulu. And Lulu is fantastic for doing hardback books, which also will automatically sell on Amazon when they're complete. And you are definitely going to want to make sure that your best-selling books are in hardback as well, so that people who they want that hardcover book, that they'll be able to get it. And you might wonder, why don't they just buy the Kindle books if it's so that they could just as well do that? And the answer is that everyone has a preference, the way that they would like to see their book. So the point I wanted to draw out of this is that we want our book in as many different formats as possible. CreateSpace doesn't exist, but the KDP print does, so we will continue to use that. And ACX is definitely a great choice. And then finally, Ingram Spark for additional paperback sales, and Lulu are also options you'd want to consider. But if you're just getting started and you've got your Kindle book, which is congratulations on that, you're going to want to move on to uh, KDP print. So that'll be your next choice, and you're going to want to start the process of learning how to do the cover, which in my opinion may be one of the most difficult aspects of it, and then the formatting of the book itself. So, and once you've done that formatting, you can use the very same manuscript that you did, the very same PDF file for both KDP print, Ingram Spark, and Lulu. So you'll be able to save yourself quite a bit of time. The covers are different on these three, but the main manuscript is identical. So that's a little positive piece of news. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you found, and also below in the comments, in the description, you'll find a link to the checklist that I use personally, that has worked for me with over 100 and I think we're over 100. We're not at 180, but 100, over 170 books that I've put on Amazon and many of these other areas as well. And let me know, check it out. Just a free checklist to help you get started and help you look at some of the different options and see if you've maybe forgotten some of the steps. And if you have, let me know below in the comments. Maybe there's a platform you found that is even better than the ones that I found. And also check out my playlist. I have a playlist of questions. Thanks.